Hello people of the YouTube, TWK here, and welcome to my stream of conscious video on Fire Pro Wrestling, exclusive for the Xbox 360, that is correct. A game that first I played on the PS2, and then later on I played on the PlayStation 4. Before that, we got a 360 version, and it is quite different from these two games. In fact, if these two are what you're most familiar with when it comes to Fire Pro Wrestling like I am, then this one, oh boy. Midnight, stop knocking over the camera. Stop it. Gotta love when cats interfere. I'm only doing one take. We're just gonna roll with it. Nevertheless, as I was saying before rudely interrupted, these two very different from Fire Pro Wrestling on the Xbox 360, and you are about to see why. Oh boy, I have no words. I have no words because how do you explain this? How do you explain this? So, this game puts a heavy emphasis on its single-player campaign, so we'll be mainly focusing on that for this review. First off, the Create a Wrestler system. For an avatar editor, and yes, you're literally editing your actual Xbox 360 avatar here, it is rather decent. Obviously nowhere near as in-depth as what you would expect from Spike, but you can tell they were trying given all the limitations put on the devs who use avatars in their games, and yes, there are some rather strict ones, hence why you see wrestlers wearing muscle sweaters instead of just, showing actual muscles. I especially appreciate the mask variety and through it, some nods to Tiger Mask and Jushin Thunder Liger. The attribute system is basic but functional, nothing more to say here. The moveset editor allows us to see just how bare bones the controls are. The X and A buttons, as well as left trigger for strong modifications, are used for front grapples, while pressing B and left trigger is used for back grapples. Which means we have 4 front and 2 back moves. Hoo boy, that's quite the repetitive moveset we'll have, especially only having 1 ground attack. Now getting into how the gameplay feels, it's passable, nothing feels terrible, but it also just doesn't feel great. These devs are clearly not adept at 3D movement, but I've played worse, just look at my previous video for proof. So, like many other wrestling games, you hit moves and taunt to build up your momentum meter, followed by a power-up taunt to enter special mode, followed by hitting your finisher, and sweet mother of Mick Foley, do they go all out on making them look powerful. Just one downside, and it's that if your opponent lands any, and I mean any attack on you, then you lose your finisher. This can get really frustrating really quick, especially since quick strikes are prioritized over grapples. Clearly, this was something that needed further testing to balance. Outside that, the gameplay is decent, functional, and thankfully matches are over rather quickly. My favorite part of this game are the different venues. If there is one way to sucker me into a wrestling game, it's to have a whole heaping load of non-conventional arenas. A backyard, beach, carnival, wait, is this section just an homage to Def Jam? God dang, Spike, I see you! Some real ones working on this game. And if you've never played Def Jam Vendetta or Fight for New York, then your $5 ass better do so before the fanbase decides to make change. There is an exhibition mode, but match types are limited to one-on-one, tag team, and 4-way matches, which is very, very limited, but as you saw in my previous video, not the most limited. Also, unlike Backstage Assault, you can actually simulate matches. Not sure why you would, but once again, this is Spike and they're trying their best to throw their audience a bone here. Overall, Fire Pro Wrestling on the Xbox 360 is not what I'd call a great experience or possibly even a good one, but you can tell that the devs over at Spike were really trying their best given the limitations that they were put under. If nothing else, I just hope the devs got paid and were the same ones who went on to make Fire Pro Wrestling World, which was just miles and miles better than this. Yeah, that was Fire Pro Wrestling on the Xbox 360, and I have to tell you, despite all of its flaws, I'm going to be kind of sad when it's gone. And yes, it will be gone soon because the Xbox 360 Marketplace, it will not remain up forever, which means once that's gone, this digital-only game will be gone with it. And yeah, it's not perfect. It's far from it. Very, very, very far. But the thing is, when it comes to digital-only games, their lifespan is very finite, far more than the games we have on disc. And those games don't have an infinite lifespan either, because eventually those discs will run out, which is why people prefer them to be remastered every now and again. And that really is the shame with wrestling games, isn't it? The fact that they will almost certainly never be remastered or remade or any of that stuff. You know, I understand why people want a new No Mercy, even if it's just the same engine with new roster, you know? So that way, at the very least, their memories can be somehow preserved. But we're never going to get anything like the closest thing we have to a new No Mercy is AEW Fight Forever. And even then, that's not perfect, as you saw one of my more recent reviews. In fact, by the time this video goes up, it might end up being my most popular video, which, hey, that's pretty awesome. Also, hey, I recently cracked 100 subscribers on this channel. That's pretty rad. Thank you all for that. That's actually kind of amazing. Anyways, I'm rambling. Hey, cats, stop fighting. I am trying to do something halfway professional. Goodness gracious. Cat's just interfering left and right with this video. I have no idea what's happening. Everything's gone into utter chaos. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Next video should be infinitely more positive than this one, because next time we're taking a look at... Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought we were taking a look at a different one in that series. WWE 2K20. May any deities that exist have mercy on us all.